Team of reporters standing by this morning with how the community is reacting to this death. But first, let's get right out to Stephanie Wade, who is live for us at Eskenazi with the latest information from police. Stephanie.
Yeah, Lauren, that suspect, Jason Brown, remains here at the Eskenazi detention, along with the other person involved in the shooting that led to the death of Lieutenant Aaron Allen. Now, again, it all started with a call for a car crash on Madison Avenue near Maynard Drive around 2:30 in the afternoon. The call referenced someone was trapped inside the car. You can see in this video it was flipped over. But when Lieutenant Allen approached the vehicle to help, one of the two people inside the car fired shots hitting Allen. Police say he was hit multiple times. A Homecroft police officer and an off-duty Johnson County Sheriff's deputy returned fire and hit one of the people inside. The other person was taken into custody at the scene. Allen was then rushed here to Eskenazi in critical condition, but despite medical efforts, he was pronounced dead. Now, the two people who were inside the car were also taken here to Eskenazi, one for injuries after being shot, the other for injuries from the crash. Again, we are just now learning this morning the identification of the person arrested for Lieutenant Allen's murder. The suspect, Jason Brown, is being held here at the Eskenazi detention, awaiting further investigation by homicide investigators. But many questions still remain this morning why that suspect, Jason Brown, allegedly opened fire on Lieutenant Allen. And also, people are still just mourning the loss in Southport this morning, wondering what led to this shooting and his death. I also understand that there is a memorial at the police department. That is where we find RTV6's Nicole Griffin with our continuing coverage this morning. Nicole.
Well, good morning. As officers are showing up for work here this morning at the Southport Police Department, they are passing by a growing memorial here on top of Lieutenant Allen's police cruiser. On top of it, bears and flowers. And as we've been here this morning, community members are showing up as well, adding to this memorial here outside the Southport Police Department. Lieutenant Allen was a 6-year veteran with the department here. He had 20 years of experience in law enforcement. He leaves behind a wife and children. And as we learn more about the type of officer he was, one thing that continues to come up is Lieutenant Allen was known for being active here in the Southport community. A group of officers gathered here last night, and the police chief, Thomas Vaughn, shared his memories of Lieutenant Allen. He says he was one that stands out is when he helped the family of a 3-year-old girl have a good Christmas. He says the father of that little girl was ill, and that Lieutenant Allen did all that he could to make sure that that little girl was taken care of for the holidays.
And a big part of that was Lieutenant Allen. That was something that he was there every day. He just pulled money right out of his pocket to help this family. And those are the type of officers we have here.
And you heard his mom say at the top of the show that he always wanted to be a police officer, and the police chief here telling us that's true here this morning. Lieutenant Allen, known as a very hard worker. He also was named Officer of the Year in 2015, and his police chief says that when that happened, he didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to boast and brag about it. He said he was just doing his job, and this morning this community will continue to remember him here in Southport. We're live this morning. Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Nicole, a very somber start to our Friday morning. Many of us thinking of those officers putting back on their uniforms and heading back out there to protect us this morning. And many of you are probably waking up angry, sad. I know that's how I felt this morning. So we're going to stay with this story. Stick with us throughout Good Morning Indiana as we learn a little bit more about the life of Lieutenant Aaron Allen, as well as more information that's just coming into our newsroom this morning about the man police say shot him, which eventually led to his death. Now this morning, our community is also mourning the loss of another officer, IMPD Deputy Chief James Waters. Yesterday, he died from his injuries after being involved in a crash that happened over the weekend. You may remember on Sunday, a semi hit the back of his unmarked cruiser along I-70 in Plainfield. Mayor Joe Hogsett has ordered that all Marion County flags be flown at half staff in his honor. Deputy Chief Waters served our city and IMPD for nearly 30 years, first as a civilian employee and then as a sworn officer.